Hey everybody, it's Karen Anderson here with Aortic Hope for our week in review. But before we get started, do me a favor, please click that like button, click the subscribe button, and click the bell so that you're notified every time we go live, because we don't only go live for our week in review, which reviews all of our social media posts, but we also go live for things like what we did last night. In case you missed it, we had a live Q&A event with Jack Crow and Carmen David from Facebook page Aortic Athletes. They were interviewing Dr. Timothy Churchill, and they were talking about everything that has to do with aortic disease and exercise. So if you missed it, you can catch it in our videos on our channel here. But we go live, and we've got quite a few more live events for September during the month of aortic disease awareness, as well as having some very brave individuals that come on here and go live to share their Survivor Series, and they'd love to interact with you. So why are we going live on what is it? It's Wednesday, because it was Labor Day this week, and we didn't get a chance to do it. So I'm spontaneously doing it now, which means I'm by myself with Joshua in the background. So we're going to do our best to entertain you a little bit and share with you this information. But if you join us, please give us a shout out, say hi. We'd love to say hi back. All right, let's get started. Last week's Monday, a movement for movement. We started this back in 2020, just in time for COVID to take over and everybody be stuck indoors. The goal of our movement for movement was to just get everybody really feeling comfortable about moving their bodies, which we now know. We don't need research to tell us this, but we know that moving anything, doing anything that your doctor says you can do is very important for your overall physical health and well-being. And this, we want to talk about, if you don't want to give up on moving just because the temperature is rising, well, what are some things you can do? Because it is really, really hot out there in some areas. I know here in the Maryland, mid-Atlantic region, it's like going to be 97, 98. I hate it. I hate it when it's that hot. But how can you stay active and healthy when it's so hot outside? Because for us, when it's that hot, we're at risk for a few different things. So let's get into this a little bit. Here's the ways that you can help beat the heat and keep moving. Number one, it's super important to drink a ton of water. Why? Because in this heat, you can very easily become dehydrated, and that's going to make things wonky with your blood pressure and your heart rate. Now, again, I am not a physician. I am just sharing things that have come from articles, and this is all for you to use as a conversation point with your own physician. So keep that in mind. But hydration is the key to preventing dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. These are very real things, especially in these temperatures, and especially if you're exercising or moving a lot, whether it's gardening or yard work. These are real things that can happen to you. So you really want to try to aim for 8 glasses, which would be 8 ounce glasses of water a day, even more if you sweat a lot, because you're sweating out all that fluid. So you need to bring some more in. And avoid the hottest part of the day. So try to schedule your workouts or even your lawn work or whatever it is you're gardening for early morning or early evening. Don't do it between 10 and 2 because the sun's right over your head and it's going to be way too warm. When you do it at the early morning or early evening, really the sun is a lot less intense and the air tends to be a little bit cooler. Maybe the winds start to come in, and it'll cool things down. But you should also check the forecast and just get an idea when it's going to be coolest during your day. Number 2, try to choose indoor activities. So this week is a great week for me personally to start taking a look at my winter clothes, because I know in a couple weeks I'm going to be starting to make that switch, determine what I'm going to bag up for Goodwill, what I might want to try to sell. You get these indoor activities going, it still counts as exercise. You're still moving your body around. So if it's too hot to do these things outside, to exercise or to do your scheduled tasks, you can still get a really good workout by doing those indoor things, crossing them off your list. So you can go to a gym, you can take a yoga class. All of these things are allowed. You can just dance in the living room, throw on some music, get that TikTok video going and practice a bunch. Just do something that makes you excited about moving. The important thing is just to move and to kind of have fun while you're doing it. Also, staying cool. And remember, everything that you do, you want to make sure you've had these things cleared by your physician. Okay, if you're going to be outside, definitely shoot to wearing a lighter color and more breathable fabric. So after you've cleared with your practitioner the activities that you're able to do, don't push yourself too hard when it's hot, okay? Definitely wear clothes that are going to absorb some of that sweat and keep you cooler. And if you feel dizzy or you feel nauseous or you start to feel weak, stop exercising. Just stop. Go seek some shade or some air conditioning. If you've got water with you, pour it over your head. Do whatever you can to kind of cool yourself down as quickly as possible. Spray bottle, whatever it is. Your health and your safety come first, especially in the heat before the exercise. Okay. If you have to do something outside, sometimes doing nothing is doing something, and we completely get that. However, in the heat, if you choose to do something outdoors, you really need to make it clear that with your practitioners that this is what you want to do, and make sure that you're not on any medications that may become impactful to your blood pressure, to your heart rate by being outside in the heat. So just do a double check, little message in the portal asking those important questions, or clear it with your pharmacist about how your medications might react to heat. Oh, and another tip, don't leave your medications in the car in the heat. I believe I read somewhere that for some of our meds, the heat might actually impact the efficacy of the medications. So those are our tips for you when it comes to staying in a moving situation when you have to deal with this high heat. So I don't know how you've been moving around, Joshua, in this heat, but I'm like a sloth because I hate sweating. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm not a I'm
That's
not a
me.
fan of the oppressive heat we're getting.
Yeah. Oppressive heat. 75, 80, love it.
Sure, no
You
problem.
get to 88, I'm out. Like 88,
Mhm.
90, I'm done. It's too much. I'm
Mhm.
the same way with the cold. I'm cool when it's like 50, even maybe 45. You start getting to 40 and below, I'm like, no, I'm out. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan. My hands actually hurt in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
They
Yeah. I like
sting.
it.
Yeah.
I like it cold indoors, but when it's too hot, like you can't take your skin off. I'm like trapped. But I'm also at that age where I'm on a personal tropical vacation, like at some point every day. So, all right, let's move on. We're going to Topic Tuesday. All right. Our Tuesdays are filled with great information and blog posts from Adam and from Duke. Adam is our third year med student, and Duke is our fourth year med student. And so they love filling up our Topic Tuesdays with all kinds of tidbits. And this Tuesday last week was really special because it was just prior to Aortic Disease Awareness Month starting. So keep that in mind. But our aortic dissection, the patient guide, is officially here. It is available on PDF, free of charge to do that download. Actually, last Tuesday, it was strictly the download that was available. Okay, so keep that in mind because effective a day ago, the actual hard copies went into circulation. But there are a lot of amazing people put a ton of effort into this guide, starting way back last year from our friends over at Aortic Dissection Awareness UK and Ireland. And then they were kind enough to allow us to bring this guide here to the US, where Think Aorta has supported Aortic Hope's presentation of this guide. And we've had our own clinicians and our own patient advocates participating in the editing and contributions. And we're also really pleased to say that we had the Society of Thoracic Surgeons and Society for Vascular Surgery also endorse this guide. So that's amazing in itself. But when you get a chance, click the link. It's everywhere on the website. You go to the first page, there it is. You go to resources, there it is. You go to our book reading resources, under resources, there it is. And if you go to Show Hope Shops, there it is. So don't say you can't find it because it's always there. It is there. There it is. Okay. When you share this information online, and we really hope that you do, use the hashtags by patients for patients, because that's what this is. This is really easy to read and understand, although it could be emotionally a little overwhelming to read, especially the first section that has a lot of the medical information. And for someone who's had an aortic dissection, it can be a little jarring, um, you know, to kind of just get that visual on what's actually happened in your body. And also use Aortic Dissection, the patient guide, plus hashtag AortaEd to increase the engagement on this. And tag our sponsors, Edwards Life Sciences and Run for Aortic Health, which is also run and created by Carmen David. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. But we are sharing posts daily through the entire month of September for Aortic Disease Awareness Month. See, there's Aortic Disease Awareness Day is September 19th, and that started off as Aortic Dissection Awareness Day. It's since changed because really the goal here is to have our focus be on the less rare event. So aortic dissections are rare, but aortic disease is much more common than you think. And if we could get people identified of who might be at risk, then hopefully they never need to experience an aortic dissection. They won't experience an aortic dissection. So hence Aortic Disease Awareness Day. Now, there's other organizations that really focus their attention on the week of aortic disease awareness, primarily focusing on thoracic aortic aneurysm disease, which is great. Any awareness is great. Here at Aortic Hope, we take it back to basics. So we present an A to Z outlook here. We go over every bit of information on what is the aorta, what is an aneurysm, what are the different types, what is a dissection. Let's talk about valve disease and valve replacement. We talk about open heart surgery, pre and post-op suggestions, the type of medications that you might be prescribed to have. We talk about genetic research. We talk about emotional health and well-being, possible PTSD, support groups, and resources. And we're going to be referring back to this guide constantly throughout the month, as well as presenting information from the STS and the SVS and Edwards Life Science. So treasure trove of information that's going on through the month of September. Lots of exciting stuff. And thank you ahead of time for sharing all of this information. And as Adam, one of his teachers said, thank you for building as you climb. And that is the truth, really, and that's what we're all doing. We're just kind of building continuously as we continue through our climb during the recovery and management of aortic disease. So that's the post. Again, consider doing the download. Check this out for yourself. Even if you have an aortic aneurysm and you're waiting for surgery, there's at least 2/3 of this book that really could be possible to help you through your journey. And while the dissection portion may not be helpful, if you have to have open heart surgery, all of that moving forward would be helpful, right? The pre and post-op suggestions, emotional health. Just because you're on watch and wait and you didn't have an emergency situation doesn't mean that you don't experience your own health-related traumatic event. So take a look, download it. Let us know what your thoughts are. We'd love to hear. Joshua, any thoughts about Topic Tuesday?
Well, Bruce Waldrop dropped in to say hello.
Hello, Bruce.
He's got an event going on this weekend. It runs from 8 to 10 in the morning, CST.
Okay.
And I said,
And
well,
that's in St. Louis. Yeah.
oh, okay. I said, well, maybe we can
Yep.
catch up with you at the end and you can share with us how the event goes. And he said, I will be
That
happy
would be
to.
awesome.
Right?
That would
So
be
I think we
awesome.
might be dropping in on Bruce here live on YouTube after he wraps up one of his awareness campaign. That's good
That
stuff.
would be great.
Yeah.
That's all good stuff. That's great. I would really love to see that because I'm headed off with Terry, our board member, for the aortic disease awareness walk over the Brooklyn Bridge, sponsored by Aortic Bridge, and that is happening on the 10th. So if you have your event on Saturday, Bruce, I'd love to check it out. Love to check out that video, which is why people need to click the subscribe and the bell button so that I can be notified when this event goes live and I can watch it. See?
Also,
Comes full circle.
he
Yeah.
says starting next month, he'll be doing 3 outreaches a month.
That's incredible.
I know,
That's
right?
great.
I love
See,
this. I like the idea
that's
that
a
we're going to
hope.
get
Right.
I like the idea that we're going to get like field reporting, right?
Yes,
Awareness field reporting. That's going to be awesome.
exactly. Bruce is our reporter on the ground. He's got his ear to the pulse, right? And that's what's great is that Bruce is one of our Hope ambassadors, new to our fundraising department as a fundraising assistant. And anybody who wants to be a Hope ambassador can do what Bruce is doing. It just kind of happened. We have a lot of different flea markets and craft shows and different local events, and I'm sure everybody does. And you could just grab a booth, and I'm sure they would donate it, not charge you because you're part of a nonprofit. And that's a great way to just spread awareness and just talk to people. Because when you look out on a crowd of people, I know that if that crowd's large enough, there's double-digit percentage of people that are probably sitting there right now with an aneurysm because they're typically asymptomatic. And that, it freaks me out, makes me nervous. I'm not going to go run around to everybody and say, hey, do you have a family history? You should go get an echo. But it's scary because you don't know how many people are aware that they should be checked out or not. So I love what you're doing, Bruce. Thank you so much. That's wonderful.
He's great people.
Great. All right, we're moving on to our next post. Again, it was about Aortic Disease Awareness Month almost being here, but now it's the 6th, so we're 6 days into it. But so we've asked everybody, and you can even do it now, to consider turning your social media profile pics into our logo. This one right here. We've seen some people put on the awareness ribbon, some people are putting on our icon, but I'm starting to see Facebook turn into like a sea of red hearts, a sea of awareness ribbons, and that's really awful. To me, it's just really cool. But during the month of September, you're going to find a lot of live interactive events, a lot of Q&A events. Bingo is coming up. Informative topics are going to be shared, as we have mentioned before, from the STS and the SVS and Edwards Life Science. And we're going to be talking about aneurysms, dissections, pre-post-op, everything that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. We are actually going to go live from that bridge walk on the 10th. So good to know Bruce will be live on the 9th. Another reason, again, click that bell so you're notified. And we've got contests going on based off of our Facebook page. So if you're not part of Aortic Hope's Facebook page and you have a Facebook account, you might want to just like and follow that page as well. We are still accepting photos for our This Is What Hope Looks Like campaign. This is our 5th annual community campaign featuring all of you survivors and caregivers. These are the people you have the most in common with. We know we're often told about a lot of celebrities and important historical people in our past who have passed from dissections, ruptures, complications, but you have the most in common with your neighbor in the community. And so let's show everybody what hope looks like. Email a photo, favorite photo, not medical related, but a favorite picture of yourself, your dog, you and your doctors, the whole team, whatever, to info@aortichope.org. And we will include that photo in our campaign, which will be shown on September 19th. Okay, that was that post. We're moving on now to Friday. Okay, everybody, this is a first for us. We're trying it now. We're going to see if it works. Our first time that we're utilizing 32 auctions for an online auction right now. It's our first fundraiser. Lots of different items to check out. It's still open for bids. It closes on the 14th. And, it's either going to work or it isn't going to work. And if it works, that's great. And if we have some items left over, they're all going to be put in for this extremely large fundraiser we're hosting in October. And you're going to get to see that plus some other items as well. So our silent auctions go over very well at our in-person events, and we're going to see how you guys like it. If you can't be in person, if you have an opportunity to bid on some of these great items virtually. So here's just a few of the items that we have right now. Of course, if you're not a Maryland fan or a Ravens fan, I know you won't care, but we've got a personally signed Ravens Tyus Bowser. See, I don't even know. I'm sorry. I don't follow, but framed with a certificate of authenticity, a picture here. We've got a gently used Tory bag tote for the ladies. We've got, this one's great. Total Wine and More is offering a private wine class for 20 people. If you love wine, you can have a private class. They're going to take you on a tour of a land. So it could be Italy, it could be France, it could be who knows where, it could be Germany. You're going to go through any specific areas and you're going to learn about the different types of variants of grape that really make the region very unforgettable. And you're going to get to taste some of their premium hand-selected wines and to kind of discover all the hidden treasures that might exist. It's a 2-hour class. And you're going to have to provide the food, because if you don't provide any food after 2 hours of drinking wine, you might have a lot of guests sleeping at your house. But you also could look into doing this at a public location like a restaurant and see what you can pull together. But this is a lot of fun. I've attended them before, and yeah, they're pretty great. We have a $50 gift certificate towards Lawrence Hope Medical ID jewelry. Check that out. For locally to Maryland, we have 6 free admission tickets to Magooby's Joke House. We also have in Baltimore happy hour for 10 guests at Union Craft Brewing. 100% of the monies that are raised are used towards our initiatives, including initiatives such as the aortic dissection, the patient guide. Everyone here at Aortic Hope are all volunteers and no one receives any compensation. So all monies that we raise are given back to the organization and given back to the people that are part of the community. These are just some of the items. I think we've got like 20 items on there. We're going to show more coming up on the 8th. So this is just a snippet. You just need to register at 32 auctions. You can mark things as your favorite, go back and see how they're doing, and then, place your bid. You can also place a bid and say, this is my highest bid, and you'll be notified if someone outbids you. So pretty cool. Check it out. First Friday fundraiser.
I like that we're sorry, I muted
For
myself.
what?
I
You
like
like
that
what?
we're hooking up people with drinking events. This is my favorite idea ever. It's my favorite.
Hey,
It's like, by
it
the
was,
way, one
do you
of
want to
our
get snookered?
people, yeah, right, one of our people works for a Total Wine & More. And
Uh-huh.
we're gonna
Yeah.
get you some wine a little bit later.
We
How
can take you
about
to the
a
craft
brewery?
brewing. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, let's get y'all snookered. And then we need to get something to a spa so then people can just pass out and get a massage or something. But yeah. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yep. All right. Survivor Series Saturday. We have a Survivor Series by Derek Reed. He pulled through this emergent aortic dissection that put the life he worked tirelessly to build on hold. You should listen to the story. 10 months ago, he was actually studying for his pilot's license and test drove race cars for fun. And then everything went kablammy. So when you get a chance, check out this video. You can click the link here. The video is also here on our channel, but we'd love to hear from you. You want to be featured as in our Survivor Series. You have no idea how validating it is for community members to listen or to read your story. And it actually will be very therapeutic for you. I talk to people all the time and they say, I don't know if I can do it. I might get too emotional. I might cry. We love tears. We love human emotion. We love it. We love costume changes. We love you bringing your animals into the video. It doesn't matter. Just be yourself. I butcher words all the time on here. I'm just being myself. I'm just like you, another survivor. But I want to hear your story. We all want to hear your story. And you can do it three ways. You can submit it in a written format. We do not change anything. It's all your words. You can do it in a pre-recorded video, or you can be really brave and do it live like I'm doing this here, where you can interact with other people and take their questions. Either way, this is good for caregivers or patients. Families can come together. And you know what? Even if you have lost someone to aortic disease, they may not be here, but their story is still around, and it's very important. And it's stories that we all can learn from. We want to learn a little bit about what you felt, the diagnosis process, especially because there might be lessons to be learned. And we're going to share that with Think Aorta US. And we just want to learn about your overall experience. So consider being featured as one of our survivors in our Survivor Series. And we thank you so much, Derek, for participating. We appreciate it. All right, let's move on to Share With You Sunday. Okay, Hope Mail. Did you guys know that we had something called Hope Mail? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but we did. And it was started 8 years ago, maybe. And it was started because I knitted a heart pillow for somebody one day, and a bunch of people liked it. And I decided I'm not knitting for everybody. I'm young. I don't want to be this major knitter. So I stopped and we did a GoFundMe and we got a lot of money. This is before we became a nonprofit. And then we kind of started purchasing little tchotchkes, things that we knew would be helpful to people in the community, like a jar opener. We all need a jar opener because we can't bear down and hold our breath when we open something, right? Right. So it's very helpful. A journal to take questions to your doctor's office. How convenient. So we have all different kinds of things that we send out to people. Now we've got over 250 people who have signed up for this free initiative. And really what it is we get an opportunity to acknowledge your aortiversary and just to say, you've got a community here, people rooting for you and cheering you on, and also to let you know we appreciate your support of Aortic Hope. Some of you have had more than one surgery, but you can only pick one date because we only have so many items. Pick one day. I don't care which one it is. That's the date you sign up for. And you can sign up for this program for free using the link that's in here. And once you do, when your month comes around, we will be sure to send you that item or two that we have. And it changes year to year. So what you see in here may not be what you receive. Just giving you that heads up. What is fun? Everybody likes to receive something in the mail other than a bill or motor vehicle. Nobody likes letters. MVA, IRS at all is terrible. But hearts on an envelope would be lovely. So sign up. All right, that brings us to our events. There's a ton of events, as I mentioned, happening in September. As you know, we've already had our caregivers support group meeting. We've already had Dr. Churchill on just last night. We still have a
Yeah, that
What we
should say Tuesday,
Let's just say
the
Tuesday.
5th
I made a
at 12.
mistake.
Yeah.
I just looked. I'm like, we don't do anything on Wednesday. Ignore that. That already happened. That's in the past. But we have our aorta hangout happening on Thursday. This every Thursday. It's every Thursday at 2 p.m. So we have that coming up. You sign up for the support group meeting, but this isn't a support group meeting, but you'll be notified about it. Now, if you're a caregiver and you use that special sign up link, you will not be notified for the
No, no,
hangout,
no.
right?
No, no, no.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, they get courtesy
I'm
copied on every support group.
awesome.
Yeah, we want them to bring their loved ones into the support groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the support group that we have on the first Tuesday at noon Eastern and on the last Wednesday at 7 p.m. is open to everybody. Everybody. We tend to see most of our patients and survivors in there, but it is open to everyone. And then we have the two support group meetings that happen in the month that are strictly for caregivers. So you must be a caregiver. We do not really want to let survivors in there because caregivers tend to have a different set of needs. But the aorta hangouts is just a fun, like, ham it up kind of occasion. Just picture sitting at like a Panera or Starbucks and just hanging out with a bunch of people. And then maybe an hour later, you've moved into a bar and you're hanging out with a bunch of people having a really good time. And that's what it's like. So you don't know. You might see Chef Rob, who hosts this, cooking. You might find somebody else doing something else that they love to do. You have no idea, but it's a good time. So once you sign up for the support groups, you will be notified about the hangouts. Thursday, this Thursday on the 7th, Aortic Hope is receiving a proclamation, award, certification. Certification. I just put the emphasis on the wrong part, and it sounded better actually, but okay. Um, from Frederick, Maryland, just kind of proclaiming that September 19th is Aortic Disease Awareness Day. So that's going to be fun. We're going to hopefully do this from YouTube. Plus, they're going to be live streaming it and it's going to be televised on their local station. It's going to be like all of Blink and I Might Be Done, but hopefully it's like at least 5 minutes and we'll get in there and you guys will get to see it. So we're pretty excited about that. That's a first for us here. And then Sunday the 10th, we are going to be walking across the Brooklyn Bridge, as I mentioned, for Aortic Bridges Aortic Disease Awareness Walk. So excited about this. There's probably going to be over 100 people there in Aortic Bridge t-shirts representing Aortic Bridge, Think Aorta, Aortic Hope. We're all coming together along with physicians and practitioners to hit that bridge walk and hopefully cross it to the Manhattan side and then come back to Brooklyn. So we'll see. Well, I usually get hung up around the Mango Station in the middle, but I don't think it's going to be super hot and it might actually rain. So this could be kind of cool, actually. So we'll see. Then we've got a live event with Dr. Stacy Fisher. I cannot speak today. She is a cardiologist that specializes in genetics. So she really understands congenital heart defects, which would include bicuspid valve. That would be definitely considered a congenital heart defect. And so she's going to talk to us a lot about the genetics surrounding aortic disease. And of course, we always love talking to her about once you get your cuff from validatebp.org and make sure that it is calibrated correctly. What's the best way to take your blood pressure? I'm still reading in the community pages that people are still taking it from both arms, despite the fact that one is definitely consistently running higher. And the reality is you only need to take it from the higher one if you're allowed to take it from that arm. Some people have some constraints, but little things like that, and how long after sitting you should take it, how many times a day, and how to do the averages and all of that. And this information is really for those that have been instructed by their physicians to take their blood pressure often, because we're not all told to do that. Once we've achieved a certain point after recovery and it's clear that our blood pressures are doing well, we're not really beholden to our cuffs. That's not the way the rest of your life is necessarily going to go. So what does it mean? Who does need to take their blood pressure all the time? Like what circumstance would cause that? Talk about blood pressure medications a little bit and how they usually don't kick in for about 2 hours. Some of them, many people don't even know that. They think it's like taking Tylenol and it's just going to take their blood pressure down in a half hour. And that is not necessarily true. So bring your questions to these live events. If you would like to ask your questions anonymously, send them to info@aortichope.org. And most importantly, any information that's shared in our live events is not meant to replace whatever direction you've been given from your own physician, but you can take this information, if it creates questions in your mind, take those questions back to your physician and let he or she tell you what it means to you, if it's applicable to you, et cetera. So check out Dr. Stacy Fisher on the 12th at 6:30. Obviously, some more hangouts, blah, blah, blah. Then we've got our bingo event, which is a closed event, private event on the 14th, meaning it's not live here on YouTube. We're not bingoing it on YouTube. So you'll need to sign up and register for that. That's free. 10 games, one card. You'll be issued one card just prior to the event with a link to join. So don't mark your card. Get some Skittles or M&Ms or pennies or dimes or whatever. Make it so that you can clear your card and reuse it. Okay. And we've got great prizes. I'm just looking at this monster size bucket of all kinds of stuff that you can win. Some things are Aortic Hope swag, but most are not. And they're pretty cool stuff. So maybe you join us for that. We also have Dr. Prakash will be doing his Ask a Doctor event live with us on the 19th on Aortic Disease Awareness Day. So that's a treat. And we're going to talk a little bit about his exercise research study, like how it's going now, like where are we now in the process, and just talking about general questions related to the aorta and to the disease. And this can be genetic related. It could be anything you want to ask. Again, use it as a tool to take back to your own doctor. Don't necessarily just utilize that and move forward. We do have a live Survivor series by Lauren Flamini. I really highly recommend you check this one out. She is young, like 19 or 20, and has FLNA, which is she has actually a unicorn mutation of this genetic condition. I want her to explain it to you because I will butcher it, but she's facing some serious challenges. And I think, yes, it's great to understand from an educational standpoint what is going on with her in case anybody else out there has FLNA and you're experiencing some rare symptoms as well, and maybe you need to go back to your geneticist. I think what I took away from just talking with her briefly is her spirit, her determination to really make the absolute most of her life. That's a lesson that most 19-year-olds do not find. They don't have that. They're not supposed to. They just live for the moment, and that's great. A lot of us don't find that lesson until we're like in our 50s. Hopefully you find it by the time you're in your 30s or your 40s, but she's got that spirit in her now. She's determined to make a difference and to just live her best life. So check that out and give her some support right here on our YouTube channel. Click that subscribe and bell button and you'll be notified when she goes live. And then, of course, we wrap up Aortic Disease Awareness Month with the most charismatic Dr. Ben Udelman on the 26th at 4 p.m. Now, this is a different time slot for him, but hey, look, a doctor's got to have time to make his rounds before he goes home at the end of the day. So 4 o'clock's a good time he's carved out for himself and for all of you. And he's going to just talk again, also everything aorta. Let's talk about grafts. Let's talk about 3D printing. Let's talk about TAVR and TVAR and who's eligible, and let's talk about Think Aorta, and let's talk about a lot of different things. So Ben he's one of a kind. Submit your questions if you want to remain anonymous. Otherwise, bring your questions and check out what he has to say. It's kind of a lot of stuff there, right? It's a lot. September's busy month. December, not so busy. December, it's a lot of giveaways, but September, very busy. All right. Here, see how I said? It's everywhere. Here it is. You just got to scroll down the main page and all of your links are all embedded in here. Click away, and you'll find everything that you need to know in order to get your copy of Aortic Dissection, the Patient Guide. Okay. I think that's it. We got it in.
Yeah.
We got it in. Yeah, got it in. Unfortunately, I don't know that we're going to be live next week due to travel, and we're not going to be here on Monday. And I know we want to get this back up on schedule. So we may go live on Tuesday, or it may be pre-recorded on Monday. I'm going to let Joshua make that decision. So you'll be surprised.
I like live.
We'll figure it out. Okay, I guess we're going live on Tuesday.
I like
on
live.
The 12th.
Live is easier.
12th, then we're seeing you on the 12th. And then we'll resume our regularly scheduled programs. All right, guys. Joshua, thank you. Bruce, so glad to know that you have secured this incredible awareness creating opportunity. We really thank you again. And to all of you, don't forget to click like, click subscribe, click the bell, share, download your copy, share it with your physicians, get them the link to the bulk order form, and have fun during the month of September. I hope you guys learn a lot and you find something that's worthwhile to take away. and we'll see you again next week. Thank you. Bye bye.